Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Fairport Heart, children of God, and that's you, and that's you. I thought my sweater was on backwards. It's not a good way to start the day is with your sweater on backwards. Okay. So, chapter 2 of John. That's as far as I've gotten. Skipping with Jesus, Venetia describing, she gets visions. She is a powerhouse. I mean this in a beautiful way. I mean, this woman is phenomenally gifted. It's skipping with Jesus. Her and I would not even be described at all the same in any approach. So I can see that she's had a much more protected life, which is good. Psalm 57. This was because she mentioned this, and that it was really, really strong to me. And I don't know when I last did Psalm 57, or I haven't online. And it seems to matter to Jesus, so here I am. I'm going to just throw a few good points out there real quickly. Any sort of witches, witchcraft, occult people work in a different mentality. It's based in, you won't see it at first, but it's based in greed, competition, ignorance, power. Just take all that and put manipulative spirits. People love to say the Jezebel spirit, but there's copious amounts of demonic spirits that you could either put in the group of Jezebel or branches out from the Jezebel spirit. Over time, demons have increased due to the multi-generational pass down of strongholds, addictions, perversions, manipulations, apathy. I emphasize A because I would hate for you to confuse that with empathy, which is quickly but surely, for sure, the last 20 to 30 years completely evaporated. The last little while you have a lot of posers, schmoozers, fakers, and they're probably some of the worst narcissists on earth. Everyone loves the word narcissist. They're some of the most conniving, manipulative, rique suave, I call them. We all be. I mean, they might even just look like a little gnome or a hobbit sitting there, and you're like, oh, we can trust them. Okay, so, and that's when you sometimes want to step back and say, can I? Just sometimes, okay? Psalm 57, John chapter 2, something with the wine. An added understanding of the in with the old, out with the old, in with the new. New wine, old wine. Aged, primed, cared for well wine, compared to cheap wine, watered down wine. If you're a seasoned drunk, you know the difference between good and bad, but you don't care by the end of your road, is you'll just go along with whatever. Whatever's got some alcohol in it, right? Get that sugar up in the body. Okay. The cleansing of the temple, my favorite. This is John, and Lord said I'd always have kind of that effect on people without even throwing anything, so, yeah, not good. This is a hot spot for the Lord. And he's bringing it through one of his fire children to you today. Church, those that think that they love Jesus need to really reevaluate your selling, your marketing, your push for money in an excessive economic financial collapse. You need to really sit back. This is for all ministers running large churches, online churches, on-ground churches. You need to sit back and really reevaluate what you're doing right now. Thank you very much. See how short and quick that was? That's about how long it takes to sell books and stuff. 2 seconds. A little message at the bottom of the screen even. And move on with the rest of it. People notice that stuff. Especially in economic crisis times. Okay, so spiff up the temples. It's not a marketplace. And Nicodemus visits Jesus. So water and spirit. And since we're still having some issues here, I'm taking it super hard from the Lord. Because even though he let the goons and the goblins do it, he was technically trying to keep them from burning in hell. So he sent us over this way, in this house, to gather it up more. Brought out even the more dark characters that were connected with this, seeking my life. Nobody got the medical records from my childhood or anything all the way up, all the experiments, and let's explode her heart by 30 memos from the devil headquarters. So nobody understands what is going on that has been after us. And I've had any number of array of physical, outrageous events happen to me. So God kept saying he has to gather them up, he has to gather them up, he has to gather them up. And this was not even going well with some believers because of the numerous hundreds of probably indications in the Bible when the Lord actually does encourage his children to flee or go hide or do this or go do that. But it's usually at a specific time and it's done in a specific manner. Otherwise, it might not be worthwhile. So since now that we're in extremely high-level surveillance world, the chances of us getting from point A to point B with any sort of success, with any sort of peace, is no longer available. You can go to the tip of Alaska, the tip of Maine. You'd have to go all the way up to the Arctic, and you'd probably still come into some technology up there. There is no hiding. Satan has put his fake eyes everywhere, and his real eyes, but the thing is that his system is faulty and so ignorant, and they make so many blunders and mistakes that the evil has become to a comedic level in some instances, but it's still dark and it's still disgusting. But the folly aftermath of them trying to cover it up. I'm not saying the actual events of hurting people is funny. Never, ever, ever, ever. So there's something with water, and they're poisoning the water, and they poison the snow, and there's some really serious tests that people have done, and random people have come up with some really alarming radon levels being poured down. If you know anything about old or radon, like we have a radon We have radon monitors down in this basement. We started it immediately. We had asked about it, but we assumed we were lied to about it, because we were lied to about a lot. And a lot of groups couldn't wait for us to get over into here. So we already were aware of that energy. And God said, don't hold back. And I didn't. So here we are. And I didn't do anything. I didn't go on anyone's property or anything. This is all in God's hands. And you guys need to wake up and smell the coffee. You have no clue how dark it is. If you were to just walk right down and how would you know what's going on in the jail? Have you visited the jail recently? Anywhere? Have you had a recent encounter with law enforcement or something? No, chances are you didn't. But the thing is that the actual field of, let's look at this police problem and authority problem and government twisting the law, is literally rising. There's random people now just picking up stations on YouTube and different platforms and following law enforcement. So it's like a new wave, This is the problem, though, too, with that, is that a lot of the ones that started it forever ago really would have needed that. It's that thing again. Would have needed that that momentum, And this is where I always upset the old schoolers, because it's all in God's timing. But I think that when you see the dark places that some of us have seen, that there's things that function and happen, and God just lets it. And you'd say, well, God still then has control over it. No, God just lets go of it. It's so dark that he just lets them take it to wherever dark they want to take it to. Are you following me? Okay, so what God has notoriously done with me is he loves to have me pop up like a pop-up puppet and say, hey, hi, God's here. But it's not taken that way, and it's laced in all of these rumors and all of these lies and a bunch of stuff. So I just don't know how God's going to turn it out for me, and many others are in the same boat with me. I'm not alone. But most people they just fold up and they just hide. Shame, be it it's not their shame to take, or their pain or embarrassment, they'll take it. They'll own it, but it's not theirs to own. It's a trick of the devil. He does it with trauma-based children and people that have a special spiritual gift of empathy. So you can acquire empathic tendencies, but true empaths are born. And it's not a good thing. It really isn't a good position in a world of hate and coldness. Being born an empath is good luck if your family doesn't have you stuck in a psych ward by 30. If you come from a very toxic network and God allowed you in that family, or because of the ailments and disgust of the family, it just is a spiritual phenomenon that occurs, that certain people are just placed in certain networks, and sometimes they're fully taken out, so they don't always rise to the occasion. Some are taken out way before what would appear to be prematurely, taken out of the earth. You're doing that thing, Heather, where you sit in silence and it's very unnerving. Is it? Well, that's a good place to start. But if you had auditory and all that harassment, you're going to have problems with your ears. But you have to kind of learn to meditate underneath it or above it, or try to tune it out with some kind of melodic piano or something very light. If you've got a bad case of vertigo or anything like that, you have to meditate and do your focus work with Jesus Christ above it or below it. I'm not sure where it is. And it could be very well different for different people. I'm going to say, what frequency are we seeing this? No, you're not seeing the frequency. But it would be a soft spot that you find in a silent place. In your home or in your car, somewhere. And you sit quietly with the Lord and let Him guide you. So that's what I have on that, and I'm most likely nothing made any sense. And if you're practicing an occultic work, I strongly recommend you wrap up your business and put up no longer in business sign on your window. The millstones aren't just for pervert sickos with children. So, when you have spent your haughty time coordinating with your hyena friends and manipulating and disrupting natural rhythms and flows with your occultic practices, lies, manipulation, slander, in some instances, a violation of privacy, property, and boundaries of people, you have treaded on a level of disgusting, parasitical, disgusting, gross, dark. Wherever you go, you choke the life of God out. So that just seems like a horrible practice to participate in. I strongly recommend you get out of it. Real quick. Because the Messianic or the Judaic are pretty sure Jesus is around the corner, or they might be waiting for their real Messiah. Maybe we'll all be shocked. Maybe Jesus never came. Oh, that's terrifying. No, He came. Very shortly, very soon. Oh, I can't make that announcement. It has to be impromptu. But you can just say, we'll just say that it would be more of a more recent testimony. And we're going to take some key elements of its time. And you're not ready. Most are not ready. And so God... See, this is the dilemma with God's grace, is the longer He allows us to stay around like this, it's so exponentially promising for more people to get out of dark, murderous ways and get to Jesus. So that gives people more time. But what does it also give more time to? It gives more time for the demise and the troubles and the plotting and the scheming of the devils. So, and but be rest assured that if you were worried about some loved ones not finding God in time, I'm very hesitant with this because it's not good to do per se on a regular basis. And if God doesn't arrive, say by Easter, then I'm a fool. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be a fool. So He's not arriving by Easter, but it would be cool if He did, and He might. See how beautiful and spontaneous and mysterious the Lord is? But we will notice if we've been watching for any amount of time. We should be noticing a very different time. And maybe that's all it'll go down as, is it's a very dark time. Okay, just 20 minutes. I mean, if I get on here much longer, I just fall in love with myself again. So, have a good one. Bye.